This time the topic is thinking is like a game. It does not begin unless there is an opposite team. So let's think about it. I would say there are two parts to this. One is why is thinking like a game? And then the other side is why doesn't it begin unless there is an opposing side? Why is thinking like a game? Because it has goals, it has objectives, bottlenecks, hurdles, and there is someone thinking against you all the time. And why doesn't it begin till there is an opposing side? Because there is no conflict, there's no contradiction, there's no goal, there's no purpose, so thinking stagnates. The first argument I would say is conflict and contradiction stimulate deep thinking. Okay, so say that thinking is superficial without the conflict and contradictions, but when those things are there, thinking gains depth. A scientific hypothesis not just says X equals Y, it says X equals Y under these conditions. However, these alternate scenarios are handled in this way and describes this under a whole set of circumstances and evidences and presents a deep idea. So think about scientific thesis and how that is constructed. This is the first one. The second one is opposing ideas are essential for innovation, invention. Necessity is the mother of invention, we know that, right? So connect it with invention, innovation, scientific spirit, exploration, discovery, all of that. So there's a set of examples that you can quote there. Then the third one, talk about this side of arguments and counter arguments and critical thinking, how it develops with these things. In fact, you can link it back to society, culture that thrived on dialogue and debate. Greek societies, Roman societies, ancient Buddhist philosophies. In fact, the schools of Nalanda had extensive arguing and counter-arguing between monks. So, talk about that aspect. And there are so many historical things you can link here. The fourth one is, say that this opposing team, the idea of the opposing team, it's not always a team or a situation. It can be an internal conflict, a moral dilemma, a self-doubt, right? So there is an element of personal growth here. So bring out personal growth. Personal growth happens when there is an alternate point of view, when there is a moral dilemma, a self-doubt, and then you think about all these things, okay? And then the last thing is connect it with when there is no opposing team, what happens to thought? Thought stagnates, right? Here you can bring in concepts like echo chambers and community groups that have only one idea and they go after it. They don't understand the opposing idea. They don't understand the nuances of something. In fact, social media is a great example you can bring in here. So see, this simple idea or concept has so many deeper threads that you can get into. So we got into scientific spirit, we got into hypothesis and logic, we got into cultural aspects, we got into personal growth, and we got into social media echo chambers. That's what makes your essays really, really shine. So think about that. I promise assignment 46 will be even more interesting and will cover significant areas that can help you get your essays to the next level. Alright, stay tuned and bye for now.